Welcome to Post Game on the Pitch. I'm Osvita Mara, Russell Brown, and John Marshall right here, and Stephen Agan, who was just taking a moment to hop on before he gets to New York. So we're going to try to make this quick. If we get long-winded and he's got to go, then you know we're long-winded. But either way, it's 2-0. The Sounders lay an egg. And Stephen, let's start with you. 2-0, they lay an egg against Atlanta. What did you see?
Boy, the Five Stripes came into Seattle and outplayed the hosts from start to finish in recording their first ever win against the Rave Green. Giakoumakis with the brace. Really an impressive performance from the Eastern Conference Giants.
Are you more impressed with Atlanta, or are you more disappointed with Seattle?
I think it can be both, really, and I would say, for me, it's more disappointing with Seattle. Paul Rothrock said in his post-game interview that the club really believed that they could get a result from this game and that they should have had a better result than they did tonight. I think that's when you get 2 weeks off to prepare for a game and come out and get shut out at home. I think that's a really bad sign for the progression of the club and where they're at right now. So I'm pretty concerned by that.
The players or the coaches, bad progression according to John?
Yeah, John perfectly hit what I was going to say with the multiple weeks off, and we talked about, you know, this is a chance for them to kind of reset themselves, and they come out flat-footed and they come out with a poor performance here. You know, we talked about with Schmetzer in the post-game, you know, was it just coach speak, or has he run out of ideas to turn the ship around? So I think we're at a point where it's like, is this what they are? Are we expecting breaks to save him or not? Because it's not turning around. Great
point. So we're going to hear from Brian Schmetzer right now. Here is Brian Schmetzer post-game interview.
Well, the sense of urgency is, you know, road games are hard to come by in MLS. We're a pretty decent road game. We need to win at least 4. You know, get us to 14 wins, give us a shot. So that's doable. You know, I thought Raul ran around till the end, that the guys, you know, again, worked. But the belief has to come from everybody, not just the coaches. Got to come from them as well. So we'll try and give them, you know, again, maybe different training this week in the build-up to Minnesota. Maybe we'll, you know, make some shifts in the lineup. Got to find something to spark them.
Diego, we'll go your way next.
Buenas noches. El equipo pareciera que hubiera perdido el rumbo. No le fue bien en la League Cup y ahora en el reinicio del campeonato lo reinicia con una derrota. ¿Qué medidas está pensando tomar para cambiar esta situación?
So the team has lost, it seems like the team has lost a little bit bearing. We lost 2 games in the League Cup. Now that we're back on the regular season, we lost again this game. What are the measurements that you think you're going to take in order to correct the course?
Well, again, we're going to have to find out if the lineup that we put out is the right lineup. We'll go back and try and make sure that the fitness side of things is good. Hopefully we'll get Christian back for Minnesota. When I think there's a stat flying around that Christian's only played 12 games for us, but in those 12 games we've only lost once. And we'll just keep pushing ahead. We can't, there's nothing else we can do. We'll keep watching the film. We'll keep going over some of the fine little details. You know, the first goal. Nuhu's usually one of our best man-for-man markers. So is that credit to Atlanta, or is it Nuhu has to do better on the play?
Sí, vamos a buscar formas en qué corregir en el equipo y qué buscar arreglar. Número 1, por ejemplo, vamos a ver si es que el entrenamiento es el entrenamiento correcto. Vamos a ver si la alineación del equipo es la alineación correcta y continuar tratando de corregir ahí. Y hay otros factores, como por ejemplo el hecho de que se recupere Cristian Roldán para el partido contra Minnesota. Hay una estadística que en los 12 partidos que Cristian ha jugado solamente hemos perdido uno y tal vez eso puede ayudarnos a mejorar un poco. Pero tenemos que continuar presionando, tenemos que continuar mejorando. Vamos a continuar mirando los videos y repasando cuáles son las cosas que han pasado, encontrar detalles. Como por ejemplo el día de hoy, el primer gol, Nuhu típicamente es nuestro mejor marcador, sin embargo se perdió la marca y cosas así no pueden continuar pasando.
Owen, we'll come your way if you still have a question. Jada, sorry, just saw you. We'll go to you next.
I just wanted to ask about, we saw the trio, Nico, JP, Rusnak all start for the first time since Portland in June. Was that something that was, this is a change in the lineup? What's your thinking with that?
Was it a change in the lineup?
Yeah, what was the thinking behind starting them all together when we haven't seen them in a while?
Well, because they're senior players, they've got a lot of experience, a lot of talent, and that was the lineup that we went with. So, you know, our most experienced group.
Jada.
Thanks. Brian, it also seems like there's a lack of ideas, though, a lack of creativity, you know, that you would expect after you guys had a break, and you know, you did say that you guys were working on some of the issues. Is that a fair assessment at all, that there's just a lack of ideas through the club?
I would say there's a lack of execution in the ideas that we try to get across to the players. I think that's fair, Jada. I think that's fair. I think, you know, some of the way we play and some of the things we worked on just didn't manifest themselves. So we'll continue to, you know, try and get Jordan in scoring positions. We'll try and make sure that Leo Chu's a little more effective. We'll keep trying those things because, you know, that's what we believe. That's what I believe.
All right, Felipe, I see your hand raised on Zoom, and that's the only question I'm seeing on Zoom, so we'll go there next and then close up here inside the room. Felipe, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Alex. Coach Brian, después del último encuentro regular de Liga, y tomando en cuenta este partido, 3 semanas de descanso, ¿cuál sería la mejora, si es que hay alguna, que presentó el equipo para este encuentro?
Coach Brian, after the last league game, and considering that there was a 3-week, you know, stop of game, what do you think were the improvements that happened during those weekends? Is there something to take out from there?
Well, after this game, no, I don't believe there was many improvements, Felipe. I don't think the team performed up to our standard. So we'll have to keep working on some of those ideas that we had and see if we can get them to be effective.
Felipe, creo que no hubieron realmente ninguna mejora a pesar de las 3 semanas que tuvimos de para, y tenemos que continuar trabajando en las ideas que tenemos, continuar mejorándolas y tratar de ser más efectivos en el juego.
All right, we'll take a couple more in here. Going to go back on this side of the room to Masvidal.
Hey, Brian, is there an element of overthinking that's going on out there, whether it's in the passing, running into space, or shooting?
It's interesting. There's one sequence where I forget the player, but he passed the ball when he probably should have shot, and then 5 minutes later he shot it when he probably should have passed it. Maybe we'll try and lessen some of the mental side of things. You know, sports is physical and tactical and technical, but there's also that mental side of things. So we'll take a look at that.
Okay, so there you heard it. You know, kind of a Brian Smetzer, Brian Smetzer in the post-game interview, just talking about, well, we had a chance, we didn't do that. But, you know, that we're taking a big wave of here as Garth Lago, a former GM, is walking by, and we're able to talk to him a little bit from, of course, he's now Atlanta. He comes in here, has his way in his house, You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
you got to give tribute. So that's what the wave was there. But again, y'all going back here, getting sidetracked. We did hear from Brian Schmetzer. So coach speak. Stephen, where are you at with that? Coach speak.
I think Coach Schmetzer sounds like he might genuinely be out of ideas at the moment. He is giving potential solutions for how the team can become more dangerous in attack, but to my mind, these ideas, they don't pass the smell test. I think he's grasping at straws, and he's saying the right things, but I don't think he does have the answers.
John?
I have to agree. They have looked now for a while, especially in the final third, that they just don't have the right ideas. And Schmetzer mentioned, you know, it's a combination of ideas, but also not executing at the right moments. Whether that's just not finishing like Freddie Montero did today, had a good chance that he just put off the post. Morris had a chance that went wide. I think that's a big problem, and the fact that they're not finishing goals is a big problem, a big part of why they're struggling so much right now.
Yeah, to go off, Steven, then your favorite phrase, the coach speak. Several different rewording of the same question was asked to Schmetzer. You know, what can you change? You know, are they overthinking? You know, what does it take to get to the final third and attack? And it was close to the same answer from him every time. Well, you know, we'll try to make it easier. You know, we'll try to make it, you know, almost dumb it down a little bit. But at what point is it, these are your veterans, these are your professionals that are supposed to finish or be creative or, you know, have those attacking mindsets, and it's just not there. So again, at what point is it Schmetzer out of ideas, are the players out of ideas themselves, and everybody's just getting cumulative frustration as, hey, it's just not working?
I agree with you. To me, I think it's the players. And I did ask Brian, the players overthinking it. He said, you know, coach will do anything. He'll say, yeah, you know, we'll think about it. I truly think that it's the players overthinking this. And when I was sitting next to you, we were looking every time the Sounders had the ball, looking for the triangle. And the minimal times was there, multiple options for a play with the ball. When Atlanta had the ball, there was always two options. In Soccer 101, somebody gets the ball, there should be options. To me, I just think the players they're fatigued, they're tired, and they're just not making that secondary run. They're not making the secondary play. And the person with the ball is not looking for that secondary run. And so to me, I think Brian was, in a way, in his best way, was trying to say, you know what, there's nothing I can do. You know what I'm saying? Except for me going back to the 70s when I played. But I truly think that it's the players on this that are fatigued and they're just not executing themselves.
And, you know, I truly believe that Coach Schmetzer would fall on his sword and leave the job before he would blame his players. But that being said, we saw the first crack in the foundation tonight. When people were asking him if the club's out of ideas at the moment, he took that a little bit personally, and he took it a little bit more to mean, is the coaching staff out of ideas more than the players? And in his reply, he said, I believe that we are not executing the ideas that the coaching staff is giving the players. That is the strongest you will ever hear Schmetzer say, it's the players, not me. And he still will say it's, you know, about him and his ideas and this and that. 10-1 for every time he says that. But the fact that he said that, to me it is. It's a crack in the foundation.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Okay, so we know he's got to run. So last comments as we go.
You know, it's going to be a big week next week when they have 3 games in 7 days. 2 on the road and then coming home from Portland. There's a week of time in between then to get the ship righted, and I'm really concerned that it's going to be a really difficult week next week for them as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough week, as just pointed out. You're going over to Minnesota, playing in front of the wall of a Minnesota team that, you know, they had a good Leagues Cup run. They just coming off a 2-0 win over NYCFC. So it starts there, and then you got your rival coming in, and it's just a big stretch right here. And I think Schmetzer said they got to get at least 4 wins, I believe. He was saying to get up to 14. So it's going to be tough.
To your point, which is very interesting, I've never heard Schmetzer say anything in terms of, you know, put out a number of games they had to win. That again, when a coach, and we all know sports, y'all watch sports, when a coach actually puts out a certain number of games they have to win, I mean, that's calling out on the players. It really is.
You know, I think the Seattle Sounders in general try to win every game they play. I mean, that sounds like a stupid, obvious thing to say, but really, this franchise has high standards and they're always trying to win. when you hear Schmetzer say 4, there's almost some bargaining going on there. I realize we're not good enough to win all of our matches right now.
Yeah.
But here's maybe where we can get to, right? It's bargaining, and it's all very strange. It's a strange posture for the Seattle Sounders.
Liberty Economics guy in New York to talk about bargaining and everything else. So, all right. So with that, again, Stephen, we know you're leaving for tomorrow. Thank you so much for taking the time. This, God, just seems like yesterday you helped us with the, the broadcast. And John, your neighbor, you'll be back whenever we. So, and Mr. SU. Yeah, you're around.
That's freeload.
Yeah, no, man. Look, it takes all three of you to kind of make sense of this because I'm all over the board. But you know what? What it takes is you all listening and watching. So thanks, Stephen Hagan, John Marshall, and Russell Brown. I'm Osvita Mara. Thank you.